Dave, you've made a noise.
It's all right. I'll bring it back to me. It's coming back. It's coming back. And hello and welcome to another episode of The Three Schooners. My name's Isaac.
And my name is David.
My name is JJ, and wow, Dave, you sound fantastic today, mate. You sound amazing. This week's episode is all about technology, going from when we were younger to what it's like now. But before we do that, let's get on the beers.
Rapidly get on the beers. That's your civic duty. That's what's most important, and that's what must be done. Beers. Get on the beers. And that's what must be done.
I love that.
I can't see the little recording thing.
Right, I'm going to go first. Beer. What am I drinking? I'm drinking a Stomping Ground Pale Ale, courtesy of our good friends Freddy's and the Fifth Province, which I have already almost finished. And I had to save the last little bit whilst Dave sorted out his technology out. Right, Dave?
Yeah, speaking of technology, but first, speaking of beer, as you know, ladies and gentlemen, if you've been listening, boys, I am in and out of hospital doing clinical trials. So I am back once again with the Renegade Master Heineken 0% alcohol. Boo.
It's not bad, though. It's not a bad beer.
Oh, yeah.
But it's not beer, though.
It's not beer, right? So
what do you got?
You know, so you've seen it this week. I've been posting on all sorts of groups trying to find a bottle of Desperados anywhere just for the sake of recording this podcast. We did speak about possibly getting a bottle, like an old bottle, and pouring it in and pretending it was Desperados.
You wouldn't do that tomorrow.
I wouldn't do it because it wouldn't.
You
It's not right. So I'm just going to be upfront and honest. And today, unfortunately, I've got a VB. Now, let me talk about VB for a minute. But I'm really sorry, Desperados, and I'm trying really. Wait a minute.
Oh, you motherfucker!
What happens here? Jeez, how did you do that?
I hate you so much. So before this even started, he's like, guys, I like legitimately haven't got a Desperado. I was like, oh, did you try all these places? But he's like, nah, man, I'm fucked. You motherfucker.
Why would you do that to us, bro? And you know what? There was a point where I'd purposely buy every Desperado in Australia just to watch you suffer. But I don't have any money, so
I'm just gonna. This is all down to Yasmin. She was just cleaning out the fridge, and there was one like tucked away down that I never knew was there. No word of a lie. Like to prove that the bottle hasn't been opened before. It's an actual bottle of Desperado that is getting held up by the bottle opener.
I'd love if it fell and smashed.
I know, smashed everything. And wait, I'll put the mic closer so you can hear it getting open, so I can prove that I drew. See,
that sound is unreal.
Motherfucker.
So I did have one left. And good news is the usual place gets them back in tomorrow.
and you've got 17 days to get the next one whilst Dave's in.
I do, yeah. Oh, yeah, we're not going to record for a while because Dave's going to actually die. So
he's going to die for real this time.
Do you remember last time I tried to die and I lived?
Oh, yeah.
That threw a spanner in the works.
So far, you're 100% successful at not dying.
Yeah, and it's always reassuring to know that, like, not only to your closest friends, but the people you do a podcast with, a very creative program, are just secretly wanting you to die.
It's not a secret. No, we tell you.
Oh, yeah. I mean, well, yeah.
There's nothing secret about it, Dave. Like, we're up for it.
You tell me, but then I like to think you're joking, but you're not.
I think it's beer time.
Yeah.
Didn't even blink. Cheers.
Cheers.
Have a good one.
By the way, as you boys and everyone who's listening, it's not been that great, my love story with a podcast. Yeah, I had a terrible mic to begin with. Then we got 3 episodes in. I still had a terrible mic. And then we got like 5 episodes in, still had a terrible mic. But boys,
or whatever order this comes out in, Dave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at this. I should probably... Hey.
You need to go back and make a noise, Dave, because that way the camera goes on to you.
Okay, let's do that again. See, I'm not great with technology. All right, 3, 2, 1. Look at me. There we go. Road have listened. I was begging them on the power of social media, which we do talk about in the other podcast. But they listened and they sent me a migrant. No, they didn't. Fucking I have to pay for this. It's taken that long to come. It's taken like 6-7 weeks to come. It's absolutely been ridiculous. But here I am with a microphone. Yeah. So here I am. Happy days.
Unreal.
You sound good, mate.
I just want to be like, how now, brown cow? The Human Torch was denied the bank loan. I feel like Ron Burgundy.
What?
No? Do you not see when he's doing this sound
Due
check?
to
Human
inflation.
Torch. What?
And
The Human
inflation.
Torch. Yeah, you don't
like
remember that bit, yeah. The Human
From
Torch
where?
was denied the bank loan.
Due to inflation.
Yeah. That's what I was doing before that podcast.
What I love about this is I know for a fact Elisa's in the same room as you right now, having to listen to you do those noises.
Yeah.
Without
She meant to be on date night?
I lock her in another room. Controversial, I know, but it's effective. And when we finish the podcast, she comes out and she's not normally pleased because we chat on for way longer than I tell her that we're going to go on for.
In all fairness, we've done a few of these now. She should be aware of that.
Yeah. It still doesn't mean she's not happy about it because she can't go to the toilet. The toilet's just here. So I was like, you can't get in the camera view. It's a professional thing I'm doing here.
I just want you guys to know that I currently can't see the recording button on this.
I can.
Being active, but you can. Can you see it?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah, mine's fine then. Great. Because that could have been terrible. Okay, let's get on to technology.
Yeah, let's still start. What are we doing?
Now, by sheer coinkydink, a memory in my brain functioning came up today, and it was a memory of when I was in I'd say about primary 5. So you're about, when you're in primary 5, what age are you? You're like 9, maybe 9 years old. And I had a favorite book in school, and it was a book about the future. Dun, dun, dun. And I used to read it all the time. Loved it. Even the one year that my library got moved from one place to another in school, I found that book instantly. I knew all about it. And in that book, one of my earliest and most fond memories is reading through it and coming across a page that said that we would have video phones by the year 2020. I was like, whoa, that's not even that far away. It's like 1999 right now, right? And I'm like going, whoa, that's not that far away. Fast forward to, I believe it's 2013, 2014. And I remember being at McDonald's, connected to Wi-Fi on an iPod Touch and video calling my dad. And in my head, I went, so far ahead.
Was that the year that Video Phone came out, the song?
Could be. Well, are you doing a quick Google?
Fact checking.
Video phone.
2008. Oh, that was ahead of the times. Beyonce was earlier than your iPhone Touch, unfortunately.
What I love about that little story there is, like, I love it. Old films. And it's like, because one of my favorite films is Blade Runner. I absolutely love sci-fi type stuff. And Blade Runner. Yeah, the first Blade Runner.
Like director's cut.
Yeah, I think I've watched it the other month or something again. I think it's set in like 2017 or something. And it's like a dystopian future with all flying cars and all that. I'm looking out my window, boys. No flying cars. Flying cars.
I couldn't get in that movie at all. I tried to watch it. It's my dad's favorite film, right? My dad's favorite film. And I sat down like, you know what? It's my dad's film. I'm going to watch it. And I watched it. I was like, wow, this is
something.
Slow.
It's a bit of a slow burner, but back in the day, it was something else, you know.
But yeah.
What was the book it came from? The Robot's Dream of Sheep or something?
Electric Sheep.
It's
a sheep. It's a robot's
Electric
dream
Avenue.
Of sheep.
Electric Sheep?
The sheep dream of robots.
Did robots dream and then sheep were there?
How do we know we're not robots?
Do robot sheep dream of robots?
I don't know. How do we not know it's like
Matrix.
Terminator 4 and we're all robots, but we don't realise it?
Well,
Because we don't, when we walk, it doesn't go dun 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 dun.
Dun, 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 dun.
what, it doesn't do that for you guys? That's why I walk funny and I've got a funny hand. I'm just a malfunctioned robot. That's all it is. I'm just waiting for the repair.
It's oiling.
He's the T.15. He's not a whole number yet.
He's a beta model that got released from the warehouse early.
Yeah.
Just still waiting on that.
It is mental. Like, I remember being in secondary school, just starting secondary school. My dad gave me a mobile phone, and I swear to God, it was like, it was a brick from
Was
the
it
house.
a 3230?
I don't know. It was a BT cell phone.
Oh,
British
BT Cellnet.
Telecoms. Yeah.
BT Cellnet.
And they were, it was like, honestly, it was bigger than this bottle. You're like, hello? Hello? And there's like an antenna. I felt like I was Dom Jolly sometimes. You remember the big fucking, hello?
So Dom Jolly, it's a fun fact. Do you want to hear a fun fact about Dom Jolly?
Go
Yes.
on.
I don't know who that is, so yes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Trigger Happy
Remember,
TV.
I'm not from the UK.
There's a thing called Trigger Happy TV. And I'll fact check myself after I say it. I'm that confident I'm right about this. Dom Jolly went to school. You ready for this, Dave?
Go on.
With Osama bin Laden.
What do you mean?
What?
No, I'm pretty sure I'm right about this.
What do you mean? I swear did it. Are you sure this wasn't an Onion article? Where the fuck did Osama bin Laden go to school? In Greenwich, in London.
Yeah, went to school with Osama bin Laden.
Where?
Jesus.
He went to school in London. Osama
did?
bin Laden.
What do you mean?
Was he not, was he not
thought it was-
friends with the royal family?
What do you mean?
Wait.
So I'm feeling
I've got
really
this
ignorant right
I've got
now.
this entirely wrong.
Right.
It was when he was in Lebanon. So there
That
we
makes
go.
more sense.
Okay.
That makes me feel less ignorant.
Bin Laden was one of the royal family. That's also
What?
true.
It stated that when he was in Lebanon, he attended the same school as Osama bin Laden. Yeah, there you go. So Dom Jolly of Trigger Happy TV went to school with Osama bin Laden.
Yeah, right.
Shoulders with the terrorists.
Maybe he's a sleeper agent and he's going to attack. Is he still alive? Don Jolly? Who's Don
Don
Jolly?
Jolly's still
I need to do
alive.
some research.
Years active, 1999 till present.
Ooh,
Yeah, so-
that's always good when it's.
Don
Could you
Jolly's
wait? Could you
also
imagine?
Lebanese.
Could you imagine working in the industry and you checked your Wikipedia page and it said years active, 2007 to 2015? You're like, wait a minute, I'm still working. You're saying my new stuff isn't good enough?
He was great, man.
Don
Yeah,
Jolly.
it was Trigger Happy TV. It was like a show where they just do pranks on the general public. But
So it was punked, but not as good.
Yeah, the famous thing is he had a giant mobile phone, like we're talking huge, like half the size of your body or something. And there'd be just people like in a library. And then he just, all you hear is the classic Nokia song. He'd be like, and he'd just stand up with this massive phone and go, hello!
So-
yeah!
so
I'm in
my
the
dad-
library. It's crap!
Can I quickly interject here because I've missed out an absolute fascinating fact here about Dom Jolly. So he went to school with Osama bin Laden in Lebanon, right? Brahmana High School. But he went to two different schools in the UK. One of which was Haileybury College in Hertfordshire, all well and good. But he went to Dragon School in Oxford.
He's a wizard.
What?
That's what it's called, Dragon School.
Yeah, Dragon School in Oxford. I don't know what that is. It's called Dragon School. He went there.
You're listening in Oxford, get in touch and let us know.
And-
You're probably not listening if you're from Oxford.
You're definitely not. Also,
highbrow for us.
on Nokias, you know how the text message sound on a Nokia? Do you know what that spells? SMS in Morse code.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, there you go.
you go.
Anyway, so your dad, go for
Right.
it.
Yes. So my dad, when he used to go to work, when he first had a job or whatever, it was on the train. So this would have been, he's born in 1963, so it would have been like the 80s. You got an old fucking, wait, Dave's born in the 80s. Is that why you're laughing?
Yeah.
Anyway, so my dad on the train used to be an
black
absolute
and white back then.
vintage.
When your dad would speak, it would go to a different screen and actually say what he was speaking.
Everything was in black and white. He was high shadow contracted. So you see, when I go to work, no, anyway. So when my dad would go to work, he had this briefcase and he had this little cassette recorder. So he would play the cassette recorder. It was loud. So he'd play it and it would be the sound of his home phone ringing. And this is years before mobile phones. And then he'd open up the briefcase, answer the phone, and the cassette would stop and be like, I told you to stop calling me. And then he'd slip back down. And everyone on the train would be like, what the fuck is this guy talking about, right? Because this is before mobile phones. Everyone's like, what is that? or at least that's what he tells me.
Well done, Dad.
I remember on the topic of evolution of technology, I used to do a paper round back when it was black and white. And I used to...
Back in the old days.
Yeah, I used to have a CD player and it was this big, about that thick. And I would shove it in my big parka coat because we live in England, so it's always cold and rain. And I'd do my paper round. I'd listen to the same CD over and over again. I think it was like Darude Sandstorm or something. So I was powering through.
Was that out in the 80s?
I don't know. Probably was. I was powering through my bloody paper round. But you have to be real careful because if you went over a bump or a curb or something, it would skip. So it was like. So,
right, what was everyone's go-to CD back in the day?
Limp Biscuits, Chocolate Starfish, and Hot Dog Flavored Water.
That was a good one.
That was a good one.
I think
yours was Abraham Lincoln's acceptance speech, wasn't it?
Yeah. Martin Luther King, I had a dream.
I reckon mine was Hybrid Theory. Best fucking album.
Oh, that's a go-to.
Linkin Park. Yeah, that was good.
I had it burnt by my cousin or my uncle or something. I didn't have any legitimate CDs.
No, I mean, my dad used to burn them off, then print off the CD cover, and then put it in the CD case. So it looked real. Like it. Yeah. Real wasn't. I remember. Do you remember getting your first MP3 player though?
Yeah, they looked like little fucking suppositories.
Yeah.
I like how that's the shape I went for, not like a tampon or anything.
No,
a real big one that goes up your butt.
Everyone, there was a massive rush for them, and everyone in school bought them and got them off for Christmas or whatever.
From Argos.
Yeah, and then they got banned in school. So what people would do is they put it on the inside pocket of the blazer. Because we wore uniforms in the Queen's country because we were not cavemen. And back
in the 60s.
Back in the 60s. And mate, I am getting older.
Wait, how big was it?
It was a suppository.
You said that with such confidence. That's a measurement of size. Right, you put them in your blazer pocket.
It's a suppository in my blazer pocket.
I thought he was going to say something else.
And then, audience, if you're watching, you would, not where it's meant to go.
You would bend over and listen to the music.
And then I'd put my headphone down my arm.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Come out here, and then I'd listen to it like that and lean against
Men in Black.
As I'm doing my work.
And that's when he realized he wanted to be a DJ.
Yeah, and I'd listen to The College Dropout by Kanye West.
Solid choice, man.
Tell I've got a new mic.
My first MP3 player, I'm 99% sure, was 128 megabytes.
Yep,
That's
same.
the storage, yeah. Which is
128 meg, and I had Coldplay's Final Straw on it. That was what I listened to.
But imagine being one of those people who went from CD player to suppository MP3, but there was a little window between them, wasn't there, boys? You're all forgetting about the mini disc. Do you remember the mini disc? Imagine if you were the guy.
Mini disc on PSP. I don't remember it being music.
Mate,
I do. Yeah, I do. And it worked in CD players as well, right?
I don't know,
mine
mate.
didn't.
So whoever it was created it. We should fact check this, but it was literally CD. Then the mini disc came out, and I feel sorry for the guy who created it because it was the next big thing, and then it literally lasted maybe about a year, and then MP3s came out and iPods came out, and literally the mini disc was set to be the next big thing, and it just completely flopped because technology upgraded that quickly to the MP3s and iPods and stuff like that.
And I think that's something that we can see, like the way that things become obsolete very quickly is looking at, for example, the new PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series S, I believe, not the X, because that's got a disc drive, but the new PS5 doesn't have a disc drive. You just download the games now. You don't need a disc drive. I have had a conversation with my mate Monroe, who listens to the podcast. Hi, Monroe. And he was saying that he was only going to buy the PlayStation 5 with a disc drive because he prefers buying games in disc form. But I can't remember the last time I'd done that.
No, neither can I. And it's a sign of the times. Like, we are now in a digital age where just like you look at this, like we're on a Zoom meeting and we've got this new mic and everything is getting...
Really want to tell everyone about your new mic.
New mic.
That was nice.
It was sexual.
Yeah, that sounds really nice, that close up.
Should I get real close? Hello,
I think
ladies.
we might look at getting you a bigger stand so it's closer to your face next time, because that sounds really good.
Okay. Cool. But yeah, so where was I? I was talking about technology, and yeah, it's evolved insanely quick. Yeah, we've gone from mobile phones, which are like this fucking big.
Yeah.
You remember the first iPhone? The iPhone, did it start on free?
No, I just started on
What
iPhone.
do you mean? The iPhone 3 was the third iPhone.
iPhone.
I thought it was
no,
Apple
it
being
wasn't.
cool.
iPhone 3G wasn't the third iPhone. It was the second.
Was it? What?
Is it the second one?
Are you
It was
sure?
the
Fact
iPhone
checking?
3G was the second one because I had 3G capability.
And then there was the 3GS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looking
But
at it,
before that, I
pretty sure I'm
remember
right.
one of my friends, Jay Nevercott, if you are ever listening to this, he persuaded me to get a BlackBerry.
Oh,
Because
BlackBerry
back in England or where I was from was seen as the go-to thing. And like I was coming out of secondary school and I was trying to get in there with the ladies. And apparently you went on BBM to chat them up. So I got
BlackBerry Messenger.
Yeah, I got BlackBerry Messenger, a BlackBerry with that on. And it was the worst decision I ever made because no girl would ever speak to me.
I had, you would never have heard of it, an iMate.
what is that?
iMate actually were the first ones to have the patent for taptic touchscreen or something, right? It was like real dumb. All these like fucking nerds like to wank and say that they made like the foundations for iPhone before iPhone. Fuck you. They did nothing. It was a shit phone. No one bought it, right? But my dad bought it at some point for work and then gave it off to me when he got something better. So I had this weird brick slidey thing that was like a BlackBerry but didn't even have the perks of BlackBerry and ran a really shitty version of like Windows or some shit.
Oh, mate, I'm looking at it right now. Holy sugar
It was
smacks.
horrendous.
I remember this.
Not the cool one with the fucking weird slidey, just the BlackBerry style slidey one.
I remember this
K-Jam.
phone.
I had the K-Jam.
Oh, yeah, man.
I used to use it to write notes with the stylus.
It was weird with phones, isn't it? Because you had the flip phone, then I remember the phone getting color on the screens.
Oh, do you remember the Motorola Razr?
Yes.
That was the sexiest phone that's ever been made. I don't
Have
care
you
what
seen the
anyone
new
says.
Razer?
No.
New Razer, folding phone, all screen. Look it up. Amazing. It's like $2,000 right now.
Really?
Yeah, look up the new Motorola Razer.
We
It's
can't
insane.
talk about mobile phones without talking about Snake, though.
Oh,
Snake was the go-to game, wasn't it, on mobile phone? Yeah, as your phone got Snake on it, well, it's not a phone, is it? If it hasn't got Snake on it,
were you a predictive text kind of person, or did you write three?
No, I started off with every character, and I got real quick at it. But then, yeah, I did eventually move to predictive text. But like
to T9 predictive.
yeah, but look at that, predictive text gone. I mean, it's still kind of here, but like,
What do you mean? How many times do you misclick and then you press space and then your phone fixes it?
Sorry, that came out wrong. I'm talking about like you press one button, number one button, number two button, number three. And it was kind of like, we've got predictive text
I got so good at that
and all that, but there was a skill to it. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. It was interesting, I think, that like you reprogrammed your brain for a whole new language, right? So the number 3 was representative of like what, D, E, and F.
Yeah.
So you could get to the point where you were quick enough that you recognize 333, 222, 3232, 115, whatever it would have been.
Yeah.
As being typing out letters, even though nowhere else in life do you press something several times to equal a letter. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Or even a number.
Well, apart from Morse code.
Yeah, but
in real life now, not in Dave's time.
Yeah. My bonding session with me and my dad was he tried to teach me Morse code because he.
Of course he did.
My dad.
This was right when the telegram was invented.
Yeah. My dad was a radar technician for the RAF, and
What?
Yeah, my dad's he's retired.
Your dad's so much cooler than you are, Dave.
Thank you. Dad, if you're listening, sorry. If you met him, you completely disagree. But he worked for the RAF for years and would go to he'd go to the Falkland Islands. He's been to St Kilda. Isaac didn't even know there was another St Kilda in the world.
What do you mean? What?
I'm pretty sure it was you.
St Kilda, not Glasgow, Scotland. St Kilda,
St Kilda is an island in Scotland.
Doesn't exist.
Yeah, it does.
Pretty sure, Phil.
People walk around on their
You say REF or RAF?
RAF.
Royal Air Force.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That makes more sense. I was
dad
like,
was,
REF, I was really trying to work that out, and Google was not helping me there.
He was
Royal English Fascists.
So it was like, I just want to go watch football.
He laughed, but he didn't say no.
Nah.
That's why he dyes his head blonde.
fighting the Empire, man. Fighting the norm. I'm dying it again, soon.
What, the hair?
As we know.
No, Dave, you got the sentence wrong. You're dying soon, is what you meant.
Mate, if this actually happens, it's going to come back on you hard.
I'll just say I've predicted it. I will have no feelings if you die or not. Don't care either.
And then if we want to predict the election or something, people are going to believe us. So that's fine.
Yeah.
You normally watch The Simpsons for that. But let's talking about predicting things. And we didn't talk about the evolution of technology. JJ, it is my birthday coming up, and JJ gave me a little Apple Watch. I never thought that I ever wanted an Apple Watch. I've got one now. Jesus, the things it can tell you about yourself you never even knew. Like your heart rate and it just says look into it. But this little thing here and this is probably way better than the laptop I'm recording off. My laptop's pretty old, but like the fact that we've gone from where you have a mobile phone, you press 111, 222, 333 or whatever, to basically a computer. Imagine if you could go back in time now and you go to the Victorian ages and you showed them this.
When you were born.
Yeah. Fucking killing me here.
Mate, I know. All right, fun fact.
It would blow their fucking minds.
Hold up. Earlier, about 4 days ago, Dave sent me his facial beauty regime.
No, why
and how he stays so young.
I swear to God,
all of his chemicals.
Right
and now it makes sense. It's because he was born so long ago.
I'm actually a vampire.
There's creams for his eyes. There's creams for his fucking this.
Right, are you doing this? Okay, right.
Yeah. Right, anyways, technology. Right, I'm just going to say something. You guys are going to tell me yay or nay. Tamagotchis.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fucking A, right? They were the best. I got given a Tamagotchi for like my 23rd birthday or something. It was after I got back from Europe. It was for my 25th birthday.
Do you remember that long ago, Dave, to when you were 25?
Let me think about it now. The bubonic plague had just finished.
But now he's a vampire, isn't he?
Well, anyway, a Tamagotchi, man, you're right.
Tamagotchis were unreal. Actually, wait. I'm not going to find it.
I got given
I've
one.
got one right now somewhere.
Given one for Christmas, just gone. And I was like, holy shit.
One of the keychain ones, right?
Yeah,
They're mini,
and I was like,
yeah.
lost my shit. But there is the thing with Tamagotchis, you know? I would get it. I would pick me little animal, whatever. It would have a poo and then it'd die. That was...
You're not very good.
And that's
life expectancy wasn't huge back in the day.
And that's what I thought. Maybe I wouldn't do as great as a parent. Tamagotchis are anything to go by.
I think Tamagotchis had a good concept and it grew, right? It was fucking viral. But Digimon perfected it.
Oh, wow.
Do you remember the little Digimons?
Yeah.
And you'd be at school and you'd fucking battle, right? And you'd send the little fucking waves through the little metal thing and you'd be fighting each other and you'd think you'd be pressing cheats even though the cheats didn't exist, but you thought they did. And you'd be mashing those buttons and doing all that shit. That took a isolated game and turned it into a social experience and just tenfold exploded it across schools everywhere. I assume. I don't know about the UK, but over here.
Yeah, I remember Digimon, but then you talk like the gaming industry. I know we've done an episode kind of on gaming, but you know, you're looking at like Game Boy.
Well, that may or may not be out yet, guys. That episode.
Well, we've done one, haven't we? We're just holding it whenever we want.
Yeah. We're going to hold it above you. And you can tell because of Dave's shit mic.
And also like the regrowth on the hair where we're up to.
But weirdly, his face stays the same no matter what.
I am timeless, baby. Timeless.
I'm gonna talk about another phenomenon. And it's not, I wouldn't really call it tech, but in the same era of Tamagotchi.
Yeah.
Furbies.
Oh, Furbies were a game changer. The infrared sensor. That was huge.
Furbies used to terrify me.
Yeah,
Scary,
I never had one.
Would,
My sister got one because she loved the idea of it and then got one when I was a little bit older. And it was weird. It was real weird. I reckon as a kid, it's fine. As like a fucking, I don't know, like a 12 to 16-year-olds, they're scary as fuck. Yeah, and then after 16, it's fine again. But there's like the middle period there where it's like, Furby, love you. What the fuck was that? And what was that? You walk into, that's what they sounded like. You walk into the room, hello, Furby. I'm like, no. This is a dark room. Get this shit. I'm out.
You just see these eyes in the corner. Yeah. Have you seen that on The Simpsons did a skit of it where it was like they're in a fire or something and then just the metal exoskeleton still remains and it's still coming out of the fire.
What? It's basically like the Gremlins, but a nice version, right?
That's exactly what it is. Well, that's what it was. It was a Mogwai before it turned into like a Gremlin. That's it.
It's freaky shit. I hadn't even seen the movie.
There was always a rumor around where I lived that there was a woman who tried to like get us to stop talking and it just wouldn't. Like she put it in the freezer, she done all the blah blah blah, and it just kept going and she couldn't get rid of it.
Like the sensor broke it or something.
Some say to this day it's still talking.
Its name was Dave.
And it moved to Australia and started the podcast.
Now, I want to talk about tech that little simple things that make your life better every single day. And one of those prime examples, and I know it's ridiculous, is a TV remote. How stupidly lovely is the idea of a TV remote? You don't like something that you're watching, you press a button and it changes a channel on a screen.
You tried creating a TV remote which you can't lose. Because everyone fucking loses them.
Well, that's the thing, Dave. So that little Apple Watch that's currently on your wrist.
No way.
Right, that can control your TV.
How?
Well, if you've got Apple TV, you can control it with that.
Oh, that's leading.
He's marketing it.
My old phone used to have an IR sensor, infrared sensor.
Oh yeah.
So, and I could download a fucking app, and it would be any TV, not just specific to Wi-Fi or specific to Apple TV or anything like that. So at work, this was where it was really applicable. At work, we lose all our remotes all the time because we just do. We change staff every 30 seconds. So we've talked about before, hostel, lots of TVs, lots of rooms. All of them are different brands because whatever's cheapest at the time. and I will grab my phone or my old phone and go around and could change the channels, change the air conditioning remotes, could do all that shit from my phone because of old technology. Infrared's old, but
do you remember when
phasing it out everywhere?
Do you remember when you used to send stuff?
Yes.
And you'd have to put your phones together.
And it would take like 30 seconds a minute for a little song that was like,
and then 2.5
we upgraded
to you look at the jump from infrared to Bluetooth. Bluetooth came around so quick. Bluetooth is well, we still use it, but it's pretty much old news now. Fax machines gone. You don't really use fax machines anymore.
There's some professions where fax machines are still used, like because they're so reliable.
I got asked 3 weeks ago, do you have a fax number? Like in person, like really leading, like really hopeful. And I was like, not even in the slightest. Like I haven't used a fax. I don't know if I've ever used a fax, to be fair. Like I've obviously seen them in use, but I don't know if I've personally ever used one.
Yeah. I always found it really amazing that you were sending a bit of paper with like, some words on it across the planet, yet you still got to keep your bit of paper. I was like, wow.
Well, I've thought about this. Do you know what baffles my brain is like the whole thing of sending data through the air and then it materializing the other end. Like, who figured that out? Like, how do you?
The scariest part of that,
literally telegrams. That's it.
But that's the thing. The thing that freaks me out the most is that it's just binary, right?
Yeah.
Everything resorts back to zeros and ones. And then and it goes from zeros and ones to this language, to this language, to this language, which then ends up being pictures on your screen. And that the fact that there's so many language conversions into this, into your BIOS, into this, into basic binary, that's really freaky. Like, especially when the more you delve into it and you understand the actual IT behind it and the systems and the languages, I reckon that makes it even scarier.
Well,
like,
absolutely. Yeah.
On that note, like I remember when I was a kid, so we're talking, I don't know, the 1200s. But I remember when I was a kid, so my family live in Australia, like my auntie and uncle and my cousins and all that.
Back then it was New Holland?
Yeah. Back then it still hadn't separated from the other continents of the world. And
you're actually indigenous.
Yeah, so what on that note is when, telephones, my family live in Australia and WA. And when I was a kid, we used to get on the telephone and we would phone them, but there'd be a delay. So you'd speak to them and then you'd have to wait for them to speak back. And there'd be that thing where it's like, hi, how are you? Where you both kind of talk at the same time. Now it's literally, I can FaceTime my mum back home in England instantly. So what is that doing? That's going up to a satellite.
Well, back then it would have been probably copper line to your main terminal, copper line to like inter-country terminal, copper line underwater from mainland through to Asia, copper line from there through to Europe or something like that. I mean, I don't know how old you are.
It's got more resistance than what fiber does, and that's why it took longer.
And now it's going copper line to your terminal, straight up to satellites, and then straight over to there, and then back to copper, like shit like that.
And even on that one, like you get on your landline phone.
When's that happen?
Who has a landline anymore?
I don't have a landline.
Exactly.
I haven't had a landline since like 2008 voluntarily. We always got forced one because we would always try and go naked DSL, which is direct service line for internet. And I like to get naked.
We always like to just go naked as we're making our phone calls.
So obviously, I mean, it's different in every country, especially nowadays, but in Australia, most of your internet comes through your phone line, except with the NBN kind of rollout and shit. It's all a bit, comes through it, but it's not directly linked. It doesn't matter. Point is, back then you have your telephone number linked with your internet service provider, because over here you've got telecoms and internet service providers are like the same. Whereas over for you guys, it's different, right? You guys have got
like what do you mean?
Well, I've been told that you guys have mobile providers internet providers.
Yeah.
And
we have like a can
landline.
with a piece of string. It goes to another can.
What do you mean? No, your internet's way better than ours.
Yeah, the internet.
Ours is like as good as Somalians.
Nah, listen, the internet that I get in my house, shout out to Spirit Telecom, by the way. I pay $65 a month. I'm not on a contract, and I pay for 100 upload, 100 download, and I get like 140 upload and 120 download, and it is flawless.
Well, that's you. Where does Australia rank?
Australia's terrible ranking.
Internet speed.
Is that because it's such
68th in the world out of 177?
And where's England?
The UK, Dave, because
I don't know. My Googling's going to take too long.
We're post Brexit now.
You're 15.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So fuck you.
Yeah, but we can't even get public transport right.
I would say South Korea fastest.
Yeah. And then Norway and Sweden. Surprise! Norway and Sweden, then Finland, Denmark,
Really?
of course. Fucking. When are we?
See, and even the internet, you remember the days where you click on and it'd be dial up.
Oh. So
I've said it before, I'll say it again. That is how to test if she's too young for you. just whisper in my ear the dial-up tone. What? Nah, too young. Goodbye.
If that was a test. Anyways, so
Dave still remembers the sound it takes to light a fire for a smoke signal.
I remember, yeah.
The flint and steel. So we had 2 dial-up connections. So my dad used to work from home a little bit. So he had a study, and then me and my sister had the same room. So she had the cot, I had a bed, and then she started getting a bit older. She was ready for a bed. So I moved into the study, and that became my bedroom. But the computer was still there. So I became a computer nerd at age 5 because I had a computer in my room, accessible all the time, with its own phone line, because my dad had 2 phone lines going to the house, one for the phone, one for internet. So we never had that not never. After a little while, we never had that dial-up issue of you lift up the phone and it ruins everything. So that's where like my love for old school Windows came about, where I became a Doom player and Duke Nukem player and all that kind of stuff at age fucking 6 months or whatever it was.
Age 6 months.
Basically. May as well have been coding at like a kid age. I wrote a Hello World app way too young, but then didn't continue it. I could have been one of those kids that makes a bunch of money coding stuff.
Yeah.
If I had advice for any kids, it would 100% be that. Put time and effort into learning how to code, because I do not know anyone that is a coder that doesn't make a mega amount of money through it. So
Or just be able to solve problems. Like, not even about the like financial game, but like, oh, I had this issue, so I wrote a script and now I don't have that issue anymore. I wish I could do that. There's only so much you can do. But back then it was like, learn Visual Basic, right? That was like the go-to. Just learn Visual Basic. Now, I mean, this is not going to be relevant to most of our listeners, so I'll be quick. But like now there's so many things. Python, there's this, there's that.
There's a lot going on. Yeah.
I was watching like a documentary the other day. It was the high school documentary on Netflix, and they were talking about how
good
went really good, man. And they went into computer games, and they go into the coding of the computer games, and then they change it because they wanted to do something to the computer game and it play a different way. Like that sentence or whatever literally blows my mind. I don't even, and they're doing that back in the 80s or whatever.
Right.
I don't even know how to stop my iPhone from saying fuck and turning it into duck.
Oh, like, I know how to do it. Do you want me to tell you?
No. It's a mystery I never want to learn.
Right, okay, well, stop listening, because I'm going to tell all our listeners, and this is how we're going to gain fans. It's really easy. All you do is you go into your contacts app, and you create a new contact called fucking. That is the name of the contact. And capital letters. Capital F, capital for each one. And when you do it, not capital letters. Yeah, lowercase letters for everything. And when you do it, because it's a contact, it will keep it normal.
There you go.
That's it.
I should have stopped listening.
Can't it just learn words?
Yeah, but it prioritizes non-swear words.
What?
Which is stupid.
That's fine.
I use
absolutely
absolutely ducked. I don't have that issue. It scans my emails and looks at all my regular used words. So fuck, cunt, shit. It's all in there. It's great.
And that is what porn sites Isaac, subscribe to.
But yeah, it's just like.
Right. So you were talking about coding. Imagine right now, right? It's years later, opening up a Tamagotchi and be like, cool, I want to change what my Tamagotchi looks like. That would be the fucking hardest shit ever, right? But
I
back
don't even know how
then,
you'd actually connect to it now.
no idea. Even back then, like they were pulling chips apart, adding chips, like
it's
connecting electro things and going 0011100011.
It's crazy and like, yeah, I don't know. But without those people, we wouldn't really be where we are today. Yeah, no, we are. And the rate we're advancing is super crazy. Like it's ridiculous now. You know, JJ, you mentioned in one of our earlier episodes, Elon Musk and doing the Neuralink. Now, I listened to something the other day which kind of fucking blew my mind. So just entertain me on this. So Neuralink, that will be able to help people like yourself, JJ, people who have their brains and motor issues where the brains can't tell their hand what to do, or paraplegics who can't walk. The Neuralink will be able to send signals through the body and whatever and make their legs walk again or whatever. So
for example, if someone's got like a snapped back and the nerves are severed, they put two in, they put one at the bottom of their back and one in their brain, and the one in the brain sends a signal to the one at the bottom of the back after the sever, and it will make them move again.
Yeah. So thank you. Yeah. Obviously way better than I ever would have described it. Maybe I could do with the chip, but the Elon Musk says, eventually I want to be able to digitize memories. So like you try and think of like, have you ever had that where you've had a dream or something? It's actually a memory from your past and you've completely forgotten about that. So let's say one of the future models in Neuralink, he can digitize a memory. That's insane. You'll never forget anything. Never. You get any
every night out.
Yeah.
Every night out.
Yeah.
I'll play this tomorrow.
Yeah. Which is insane. Like, every memorable moment that you've wanted to never end, you can relive that moment as clear as day. Now, just before I carry on, this is the thing I heard. So, we've gone from making people walk again to now digitizing memories. So if you could digitize a memory, and now this is going down the rabbit hole, if you could digitize a memory, why can't you digitize a human? What they're about, who they are, their personality, everything about them. Then if you can digitize a human, then that makes space exploration possible. Because what stops us going through space to visit another planet? It's not an issue of getting the vessel there. We figured out how to do that. It's actually, if we wanted to send humans there, though, that they die in the process and you've got to preserve their life. If you could digitize a human and send it on that vessel, then...
See, that's how I see teleportation. I don't think teleportation is physically possible. Even in the very, 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 very future. I don't think making atoms instantly move from one place to another is physically possible without...
It has been done, though.
What?
Yeah, from somewhere here to here, but it's not actually...
Well,
I remember reading that study, and it wasn't.
Yeah, it's quantum linked things can move at the same time in two very different locations in the universe. The main issue we're going to have with moving people is that one cell in a human body has 1.5 gigabytes of data in it, and there's 40 trillion cells. So that means that there's 60 zettabytes.
Right, you Googled all this, right?
I was say, it's in front of me.
Okay, good, because I thought you were pulling these out of your ass. I was like, right, there's no way you pulled that out of nowhere.
That's 60 followed by 21 zeros. So imagine 60 with 21 zeros after it. And that's a zettabyte is huge. The problem that we've got with transferring people is we do not have a way at the current level of science of transferring that amount of information from one place to another, and that capacity of information that quickly. But that'll come.
Right, but what I reckon is that, like, I'm expanding this into teleportation. I think you're not going to physically be moving atoms from point A to point B across the globe or across interplanetary. What you're going to be doing is the information of it, and then you're going to be restructuring every single one of those atoms. So it's going to be instantaneous cloning. I think that's what teleportation is going to be. It's not going to be physically the exact same atoms are going and moving spaces. It's going to be you absorb, upload, reconstruct, and then instantaneously deconstruct, or you have two of them, which would be real weird.
Okay,
but I think that's the only way you could do it.
I'll tell you now, I'm not going to figure it out because, I can't even figure out this thing.
People you're not going to figure it out, but I'd go on the journey.
I'll still be there.
I'd go on the journey.
I'm immortal. I'm a vampire.
You're all about clinical testing. You'll be one of the test subjects.
Just to put that into scale, and in the world right now, when we're recording in 2020, there are 40 trillion gigabytes of data.
I was just thinking that the year is 2020. Three men make a podcast.
In a world in 2020 where there are three men making the podcast. All they want is beer and the future.
There's Desperado. Sponsors Desperados. Anyway, so there's
subliminal advertising right there.
So there is currently around 40 trillion gigabytes of data, or 40 zettabytes of data on the planet right now, but like in physical, form of storage.
How many atoms is that?
A few. But a person is 60 zettabytes. So a person has got more data within it than what is currently in storage on the planet.
Right. So what is the 3 years? In 3 years, let's just blow everyone up and recreate me, and I'll be fine.
I think that's a terrible plan. I'll be honest with you. You've not thought that through. And where do you go from there?
The year is 2021. Everyone died. And
I said 3 years. 2023.
Everyone wears leggings.
Desperado's gone.
Okay, going to what is the max storage? And we'll get off this in a minute because it's starting to
max storage.
A bit, but what is the max? You've got gigabyte, terabyte. What is the max at the minute?
That would definitely be my porn name, max storage.
Well, they just go off of fucking Latin terms, don't they?
You're saying zigga wigga whatever.
Beta?
Zettabytes. Zeta.
Yeah. So what's a terabyte compared to a zettabyte?
1 terabyte is 1,000 gigabytes.
Mm-hmm.
So
then you can go to pentabyte, don't you?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god, this has hurt my brain.
A Google byte, eventually.
Yeah, Google byte. So essentially, all those little MP3 players that we had. A lot of them, more than 3 of them,
and everything works off fucking the square rule, which is real confusing.
So
I don't understand why computing has to work like that. I mean, I do because it's a binary.
Even though you go 1 megabyte is 1,000 kilobytes, it's not. It's 1,024, and then you've got. Wait, no. I think a megabyte is 1,000 kilobytes, and then it goes from there and it changes. Is that not the rule?
Wasn't it? No, it didn't really well.
How many bytes?
All right, doesn't matter. Technology.
Yeah, this is killing me. This.
I remember. Right. I remember having a little laptop. Little laptop with little buttons, and it was like A for apple, and you press it and it goes apple, and then B for banana. Banana.
I still have one of them.
But like something like that, rudimentally, not the actual physicality of it, but rudimentally, you could, even you 800-year-old Dave, could make, in theory.
Well, going back to that thing, Apple, I have one, and it's like it tells you the time. So it's like 10 a.m. morning, 10 p.m. evenings. 4 a.m.
You really had to think
you have
that.
this. You have this right now. Right now, you use this to learn the difference between night and day. Is that what you're telling
4
me?
4 a.m. Girlfriend mad.
Every day.
Every day.
8:12 at the 5th of October. Mad.
Do you know what I think is very realistic in our lifetime? Well, in your lifetime.
Dave's gonna last forever.
Dave. But the fact that, if someone, you got war veterans or whatever who have had their arms blown off and they're amputees, and then they get given a prosthetic limb or whatever. And those, I can strongly believe within our lifetime that those prosthetic limbs are going to get better and better and better to the point where they could be better than actual.
I'm going to hold you right there
human.
because this is something I was going to bring up. Now, recently, so my right arm and right leg doesn't work, but my right leg is the thing that annoys me most because I can't really run because I go over my ankle quite a lot. So I've always, as weird as this sounds, I've always wanted my right leg cut off, but a robot leg put in. That's what I've always wanted. So that because my 2 feet aren't the same size, so I need to buy 2 pairs of shoes. It's a whole thing. So I've always wanted.
I get that because like I'm good friends with a Paralympian, Sam Bramman.
Look at that name drop. Jesus Christ.
You're never going to listen to this.
Not anyone. He's a Paralympian.
Yeah, gold medalist. I wore his gold medal once. But he was born with like I don't know what caused it. It was something in the womb, but it's like cut off at the just pre-knee or just post-knee, right? And he's got the bottom bit as a fake leg, and he fucking could run faster than I've ever been able to. And I used to be in my athletics team. Like he's fucking like insane, right? But I could imagine like for you, it's because it hasn't been cut off, and because you haven't got anything there. Like it's you're in this limbo where it's like. You I mean, if you made that sacrifice, which is fucked, like you could voluntarily do that and be like, fuck.
Yeah, what if it doesn't go right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
I currently this is where I'm currently at in the world. So at the time of recording, we're still in lockdown. The restrictions have eased a little bit. I go through a pair of shoes so quickly because I walk on the side of my foot. It literally wears the shoe down within maybe 3 or 4 weeks. So I can't buy expensive shoes because I waste them within 2 months, even really good pairs of shoes, that are meant to be durable and stuff. Beside me, where we're recording this, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pairs of shoes, none of which I can use because I've walked through them. I keep them just in case anything gets any worse than the current condition because I can't go buy shoes. And none of them fit me. They're not the right size. They've all got holes in them. And I would just like 2 feet the same size that I could not wear through shoes. But getting back to where this whole amputation and it being better than actual limbs, I recently watched on good old TikTok a girl who has got an amputation on her right leg, the same one that if I was to get it done, it'd be the same leg for me. And she has got, in her prosthetic, there's a processor. So what she does is she goes into wherever she got the prosthetic leg from. She goes in there and they record her walking at 3 different speeds. So they've got speed 1, which is quite slow, speed 2, which is normal, and speed 3, which is like a fast kind of run, jog kind of thing. And the prosthetic leg realizes the speed at which pressure has been put on her toe, and it changes the speed that it corrects itself accordingly every single step, which is outstanding. But what that also means is that it's impossible for her to fall because the foot will stop it from happening no matter what. So if she starts to fall, the foot will put itself in a position that will stop her from falling.
That is crazy.
That is exactly what you're talking about, though, Dave, isn't it? I
do think like it is very well. You're talking about it there, and it's shout out to Tesla, your favorite people.
I'm not wearing a t-shirt right now.
Not showing off. I hope. Imagine if they just like sponsored you one day. That'd be incredible. It'd be dream country.
Well, I legit emailed. So you were talking about Neuralink. I legitimately emailed Neuralink and said, "Listen, I've got a condition where it could really be helped by your technology, and I would willingly be, a participant in it." Yeah, happily. I emailed them saying that, and
you've been hanging around with me too long, buddy. Clinical trials, throwing yourself into the mixer.
But no. Like hydraulics, even if you had like a leg with hydraulics and stuff, you could potentially be faster or more agile or more like what you're leading to is that you could eventually we're gonna better.
Yeah,
that's what Army's done with exoskeletons and stuff,
Where I was going with that was like Tesla have got this car, obviously the car range, and that you kind of what you were saying with that girl with the limb and it works it all out. Tesla have in their cars, if you drive over the latest one, I don't know what it is, but if you drive over ice, and your car, you won't spin out or something. It's almost impossible to spin out because the car is correcting human driving as flaw. So the car is preempting it and correcting your driving without you even knowing.
I don't know about that one, Dave. I've never actually heard about that in the car.
It's something to do with, we'll have to look this up. But
it's like gyroscopes or something.
Yeah.
I just say words that mean something. It means something.
The car's got, each car's got, I think at the moment, 8 cameras around it, as well as it's got sonar kind of technology within it, as well as other things, and it can detect the way the car moves. And yeah, that could be the case, Dave, but when I worked there, that was never something that was ever mentioned. And I do follow Tesla quite closely and things like that, and I've never heard that. But I just remember
Elon Musk, I might have got it wrong now. I remember Elon Musk saying something about it, and it was like it helps correct your driving, and he's obviously the guy's a hero. He's trying to make everything safer and better and more efficient. So it was something along those lines. Maybe I've said it slightly wrong.
Absolutely, no, you're quite right, man. Like he's currently at the stage where he's got the software in his car, where the car can take him from his house to his work without him interfering with the steering wheel. So the car's driving him there. It's insane. And the Tesla Model 3. So this is where I think the world is going to majorly change within the next 30 years. We're going to move towards electric. Harley Davidson are making electric cars, but the Tesla Model 3, which at the moment is the most popular electric car in the world, inside the cabin, behind the rear view mirror, there's a little camera there, and that camera is not yet active within any of them. But the reason it's there is for when the world has got a little bit more of these cars and the cars are capable of driving themselves, you are going to be able to go to work and you tell that car to then go and pick up other people to make you money. So that's going to act as a taxi, that the money will then go straight into your account. As well as that, think about this, boys. This is the dream. So in a previous podcast, Dave, you and I had spoke about how every time I used to come out on a Thursday, I'd bring my car and I'd have to leave it there because you got me drunk.
And it drives you home.
What if that car drives me home?
Oh my God.
Yeah, well, the hospitality industry is going to love that, isn't it? And the road, and the safety and everything. We are getting to a point where technology is being developed to protect us, but let's get a bit sinister.
Oh, are we doing the black, the dark side of?
Well, we talked about it in the social media episode, where social media is a great tool, and I won't go into it because we did a whole bloody episode on it, but briefly, social media is a great tool that's brought us all closer together, but actually it is now starting to create some problems of its own. Where do we go with technology? Like, you look at your phone and amazing, this is a little computer. It
is enough to power the moon landing.
More than enough.
And some.
And calculator's enough.
Yeah, and then some.
Sorry, I wasn't quite with you there, but yeah. So this is an incredible tool, but this can also tell your location wherever you are. And we hear about people being able to hack into phones and get your data and all that. That is where technology is starting to fail us somewhat. You know what I mean? And
are you saying it? Would you say it's technology that's failing us, or would you say it's the person behind it? Because that's a different thing.
It'd be the person behind it, because technology is what it is. It's not. It's nothing. It's not malicious. It is doing whatever the user wants it to do. So I would say the problem is not technology itself. It's the person using it, or how we accept it. Black Mirror is an incredible series where it just kind of shows us the flip side of technology and where it can actually be harmful.
Have you guys ever watched Ghost in the Shell, standalone complex?
I haven't.
I watched the
shitty movie.
The one with what's her face in it, Scarlett Johansson.
So I don't know if it's in the movie, but in the TV show, I only watched a few episodes as a kid with my dad. But basically, a bunch of them were like cyborgs, right? Or they all had cybernetic implants or whatever. I don't know the full extent of it all, but essentially, you had like, imagine having like fucking Google glasses, but permanently. And every time you saw someone, you could scan them and be like, that's their name.
Yeah.
If they want to make it public, like they linked it with their Facebook, whatever, everyone had the choice. And it was beneficial for society. But then there was a few people that knew how to hack it, right? So there was one guy who was like a murderer who was known as the Laughing Man. And what he did is he had like a script set up that anyone that looked at him couldn't see his face. Any camera that saw him, because it all ran through the system, nothing was analog, it couldn't see him. What he did is he hacked all of these things automatically, and all they saw was this big smiling face in front of his face. So that's
exactly what happens in the Black Mirror as well.
Yeah. So it's instead of seeing you, you're seeing this giant smiling face, and then that's where you would go if you had a fully digital world. You would eventually have leaks. You would eventually have like back entrance ways of getting to all these tech, and people would be able to take the piss in that way.
Always, humans will always find a way around it, and I think a lot of people thrive on being the person to do that. But imagine we're in this situation. Okay, imagine you're on a night out, Isaac. You're a nice single man, so I'll imagine that I'm you for a minute. I'll just put on my leggings here. Here we go, all sorted. So you're on a night out. Yep. You see a lovely lady or a man that you like. I don't know which way you're going with these leggings. And you sit down and you're talking to this lady. You're both looking through, let's say it's the new Apple glasses that will be announced next year or something, right? You're sitting down, you've got Apple glasses, and you look at her and her Facebook profile comes up, or Instagram or TikTok or whatever the kids are using. And you're talking away and you're finding out stuff about her. And she goes, oh, yeah. So I was actually, you're talking about your trip to Europe. I was actually in Budapest last year. And what she does is she brings up photos of Budapest and her in Budapest, but you both see them as augmented reality in front of you. So you're both just swiping through it and go, oh, no, I actually know where that is, blah, blah, blah. That's the cool thing where people could come together. And I might take away the experience of, being on that night out, but you're making a connection with that person. And you can't always say that kind of technology is a bad thing. You have to opt into that. It's you making a choice to do that.
I think that's the most important thing. I think it's about permanence. Permanence? Permanence? Is that a word?
Yeah.
Permanence is a word, right? It's all about permanence. It's a word now.
All the timeness.
All the timeness, right?
Forever
like you
and
said,
ever and ever and
I think,
the lifespan that Dave's been alive.
Yeah, exactly. The key word you used then, or the key sentence was opt in, right? Yeah. If you have the choice, right? Just like anything in life, right? If you have consent and you're okay with what's going on, then absolutely, right? But if it gets to the point where you can't exit the digital realm, right? Then that's an issue. Right now, we talked about it in The Social Dilemma. We talked about how it can be addictive, but you still have the choice to turn the phone off, right? Some people return back like a drug. You got the addiction, all that. That's a different argument. That's a different conversation. But I think if you can take the goggles off, you can take the earpiece out, you can take the Neuralink out, whatever it may be, it's removable, it's turn offable. It's you can go offline. As long as at some point you can actively go offline, that's important. Otherwise, then you've got hackers, then you got this, you got that. There's always going to be some way for something to go wrong, I think.
Yeah.
And it may not be a technology error. It may be a user error, 100%. Like you said, it could be a hacker. It could be a person that's doing something negative. But it's still a possibility. And I think unless you can go completely offline, even 50, 100 years in the future, then that's a problem. Even like you're talking about processors in legs, right? They should also have just a backup, basic hydraulic spring functionality that's mechanical, so that if that processor fucking malfunctions, it doesn't like start kicking everyone and murdering you or something. Like, I don't know, right?
Or just an off switch.
Yeah, just an off switch, right?
Yeah, just an off switch.
And then it goes back to some sort of hydraulic, right? It can't just be it could just be a dead leg even, and then you got crutches, right? But yeah, I think that's the important as we progress, is that we build in some sort of off for everything, absolutely everything, especially with all the fear-mongering books that we've read and history that we've had of like Terminator and this and that. Like if all of those things were a real simple off switch, then you would never have those problems, right? And even though they're the most
it's just like he's came back to destroy John Connor.
In a world where there's a machine that has an off switch on his forehead.
Have you just tried the off switch, mate? Just reset it, wave it around.
Wait, I'm John Connor. Oh shit, I haven't tried that yet. That's what John Connor sounds like.
Let's
that was terrible.
Arnie's just came back to give him a desperado. Arnie's just an overgrown Furby. That's all.
But
I want a desperado.
Do you reckon there'll be a point where these geniuses like Elon Musk and all that have been like, I've gone too far. I've created something.
Did you not watch The Social Dilemma where they said all the exact same things about social media?
Yes, I did.
It's the exact same thing. All new technologies, right? Like people in every realm, we always think this is the new age, right? We always think this is the new thing. This is the new big thing. This is the new game changer. This is the new climate change. This is the new this. Like it's always something new. There's always something that feels like it is changing the world forever. And there's always people that are for it and against it. And I think that's always going to be the thing. And there's always going to be a thing that's too uncontrollable and too crazy in the future that we're thinking about now that we're already like scared of, that people are going to turn around and be like, oh yeah, we've gone too far.
Wait, but then it's gradual. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
If you went back to even 2000 or maybe, 1995 with an iPhone, you would have fucking scared people then.
You know when you were 700 years old, Dave.
Yeah,
706 birthday.
But you would have terrified people. You'd be like, what the fuck is that? You know what I mean? And so there'll be a point where I don't even reckon we'll realize it's gone too far because it's been that.
Based on that maths, you were born in 1289.
I remember chasing the big circular wheel down the road with a stick. That was my entertainment.
Because you invented the wheel, didn't you?
Yeah, I invented the
wheel. Unbelievable.
I want
to.
I know that Dave, you've got a pressing night tonight, and because this is your last night before you die and stuff, so. You want to see your lady.
Yeah.
Well, again, you're invincible.
Let's round it up.
I want to ask you guys a question.
Yeah.
I want to ask each of you what you think the single most important and helpful piece of technology that you have in your life is.
I was not prepared for this question.
That's a hard question because a computer is a whole piece of technology.
Yeah. But
then the internet is a piece of technology. Like you can't have one without the other kind of thing. So,
do you know what I love? This fucking blender.
Are you sure it's not your new microphone, Dave?
I've been doing so many.
Which, by the way, we need to get you a stand. That stand
almost broken.
Solid.
I'll do that again. Yeah, for me, it's
you sound really weird now, Dave. What's happened?
Did you unplug your microphone?
Did you unplug it?
Hello.
I think hello, that's better.
Sorry.
I think you undid. Right. So for me, growing up, I was a drama nerd, pretty social kid, but wanted to be social all the time. So when I got home, I needed the internet. I come home, chat to my mum, do what I did, had a snack, go to my room, go on the computer. Finish school at 3:30, be on the computer by 3:45 kind of thing.
Well, you live pretty close to your school.
Yeah, I did. 10-minute walk. 10-minute walk from my high school. It was great. I was always at least 20 minutes late. Unless Miss Walsh was working.
Shout out to Miss Walsh.
Miss Walsh, if she was my substitute teacher, I would run to school. So fun story for you. Real quick, and then we can continue. But form assembly would be like your pre-school, do your role, talk about rules and bullshit. And that would start, I believe, at 8:50 to 9 o'clock. I would never go to that. Fuck that shit. Who needs to go there? At 8:50, I would generally leave the house, get to school at 9, put my shit in the locker, be ready for the first class that's meant to start at 9, but everyone has to walk from form assembly there. So I'd meet them there at 9:02 every week, every day, all the time. One day I get a call. Hey, our teacher's not here. Miss Walsh is taking form assembly. I'll be there in 2 minutes. I ran the 10 minutes in 2 minutes. Bowl in. I'm like, I'm sorry I'm late, miss. All right, take a seat. No worries. Come out, sit next to my friends and be like, oh, Miss Walsh is so hot. She was a Canadian substitute teacher. And now, as someone who works in hostels that meets all these people that do substitute work, I understand. Shout out to Lily, who's an Irish hot substitute teacher.
Well,
that we know.
I hope that works for you.
Well, no, Lily's a mate, not like one from back in the day.
Okay, right. Let's get back to this. Let's get away from dating with Isaac. Yeah,
we should do like when Valentine's Day rolls around. We should just do an Isaac hook Isaac up special. We should do.
Oh my god! Hopefully we're back in base for that.
Yeah, I've written a song called Valentine's Day.
And we're not going to listen to it now. So what piece of tech?
For anyone, although I'm going to do this too, for anyone who is interested, and some people know this, Isaac has done a fitness video. And
what did
it is the greatest.
Oh my God, you're the worst.
Is it on YouTube, Dave? Is it on YouTube?
You're famous now, baby.
Oh,
it's called Workout Time with Isaac G.
So it's so
Isaac
good.
G.
It's This is why it's things like this, because Isaac, because he's so like quirky and eccentric. It's things like this is why I was like, bro, you need to do.
Oh my god, I found it. Wow.
It's big. It's got a lot. It's got too many views.
It's got a lot of character. The clothes are so tight.
18 minutes long.
It's also for Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hashtag secretly lifting.
Yeah. So that was a thing that was in our friendship group for a good year and a half. And Jordan was our friend who was turning 21, who used to love watching those. Oh my God,
there's so much crotch in it. Jesus.
There's so much crotch. I stuffed a banana in there for one bit. Anyways, JJ, what's your favorite bit of technology that changed your life?
Right now, I'm absolutely terrified.
Definitely not YouTube.
you give me huge
YouTube video. That's changed his life.
Huge Andy Samberg vibes.
Oh, thank you.
I really enjoy the 31 likes, but 3 dislikes. It's got 3 dislikes.
Oh, that's all right ratio.
That's all right ratio. Yeah, I let's be honest. It's my phone, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've got at the moment. So the new iPhones will probably be released. What date are we on? We're on a date. I'm not going to say it, but the new iPhones will be released within, I'd say, 8 days, right? And I think that I've currently got the iPhone XS Max. The processor in this thing is better than the processor in my current MacBook, right? Apple
what's in your current MacBook?
Well, let's have a look.
I mean,
about this Mac.
I'm intrigued because I know computers, but I don't know iPhones.
2.3 gigahertz Core Intel Core i7.
What for?
I don't
Core
know
i7.
what any of that means. Yeah. I mean, I struggle with Microsoft Paint.
I would argue that Apple's ARM, like ARM processors, or the A14, or the A12 that's in this, is stronger than that by quite a lot. I think, especially with the next iteration of iPhones and the ones that will come out in subsequent years, we're going to look at the processors that are in these phones going into MacBooks and things. They're much less power efficient. They allow the computer to work at much lower temperatures because they don't draw that much power. This thing has got connectivity to anyone I want on the planet. It's got any of the information I could want on the planet. And I use it every single day. I think these things can be used for a lot of good. And I don't think we realize what we've got, to be honest, in our hands every day when we wake up and put these in our hands. These are fantastic things, and they can do just about anything that you want.
And we take a lot of them for granted, man. We really do. To have something like that back when I was a kid, and it would just change. It would change how I had learned things in the world, like the fact that
you would have known the plague before the plague even existed.
Exactly, man. I could have saved the world. I could have changed things. But the fact that, like, if I don't know, if I'm taking on something, a task, and let's say I wanted to change. Now, I'm not advising everyone does this because you can get it wrong, but if I wanted to change brake pads on my car or something, I could go on YouTube, type in what car I have and change the brake pad, and you can watch a YouTube video. And then, in theory, within an hour or something of watching the video and getting the equipment and all that, you could potentially do it yourself.
Yeah.
And you've saved yourself loads of money at the mechanics. Now, I'm not encouraging everyone to go out there and bloody start watching YouTube videos and changing their brake pads and then crashing. But, if you are willing to do that sort of thing, you can save yourself a lot of money through things like YouTube or, and even like in this day and age now, when you were younger, and you weren't sure of something, what would you do? You go speak to your mate or you go speak to your parents or whatever, and they would pass on the knowledge that they know. And the knowledge they're passing on might not be correct, But in this day and age, you can just go on the internet, and if you have an ailment or something, you can Google it. Hang on, I'll finish on that. Yep. You could Google the ailment and you can generally know what's up with you. However, there is obviously...
It's always cancer.
Yeah, it's always cancer. There is the flip side of that where you'll convince yourself you have something worse than you are. But for the most part,
absolutely.
Or even if it's, I don't know, guys growing up and they need to get advice on how to speak to a girl or something. There'll be loads of forums out there, and it will advise them and do it
it can guide you in the right way. The contrary.
Right
is we lack critical thinking skills in the same regard as we used to. I used to be in high school. I used to debate with everyone about everything and had an opinion on everything, not because I was opinionated, but because I would read a minuscule of information and because I was more internet proactive than other people and thought it was true. And then I would just fight people about it now. But now, I will hear something. And if I don't agree with it, I won't necessarily debate. I'll be like, okay. And then I'll spend 30 seconds messaging Google and be like,
messaging Google.
Yeah, fucking, yo, Googs. Sup? This bitch wants to think that this is happening. This true? And then like, you don't have that like critical thinking, debating mentality anymore. I think if you're having a debate in a pub over a pint, you don't just have that debate and go home. And one of you wins or loses because of your argumentative skills or your rationale or your logic or anything like that. You take out your phone, you Google it, and you're like, "No, you're wrong." Oh, okay. And that's the end of the conversation.
No, my favorite people are the people that you go, "Nah, you're wrong," and they go, "No, I'm not." you show them all the facts and they go, nah, I'm not wrong.
Oh yeah, still deny it and still try and figure their way out of it. And it's like, no, you're wrong. There's some people who will just argue knowing that they're wrong, but they just don't want to lose, so they keep going.
Yeah. Dave, have you said what your most important thing is that isn't the blender?
It would be very... Which I
sorry, no, it's not blender, it's grinder. You said that wrong. Grinder. Does the same thing, sorry.
He loves grinder, does there, Dave? It's because he looks gay.
I think I'm quitting this, you guys.
You guys want to bully me.
I'm just being jealous because he looks so good all the time. I literally messaged him earlier today because he'd done one of those face swap things into it was a Nicolas Cage one, and he made Nicolas Cage look good.
And then did another one with fucking, who was it?
Zac Efron.
He looked like Zac Efron. Nothing changed.
Yeah, nothing actually changed.
So you don't look gay, Dave. You just look much better than me.
That was a victory moment, if I must admit. It was like I put my face on for Zac Efron and it looked the same. It was pretty fucking spectacular moment.
All right, rounding thoughts with Dave.
Mine would be what I kind of just said, the internet and all that, the power of the internet. And I mean, when I say the power of the internet, I mean it in a good way. So if I want to
4chan.
Yeah, what? No, yeah, what?
No.
But if I wanted to go learn an instrument, you could watch stuff online. And, if I wanted to further my music production skills, I can watch tutorials. You can even sign to online classes and learn stuff. If you're using the internet to learn and become a better person, I think that is an invaluable tool. And it's a tool I have used many times through my life to kind of further my own knowledge. as I'm getting older, you know, as I'm in my 30s, that's what I tell you. But I like knowing how things work and how the world around us works and how getting different perspectives and views on things. And the internet is the go-to thing for me. If I want to further my education and become a better person, then I'm always Googling it. I'm a massive, and on that note, I'm terrible for watching a film and during the film going on IMDb and searching every bloody actor or whatever they've been in. But yeah, the internet is a massive
internet lets us do this, you know, like we're in 3 different places using, you know, cameras and now we've all got mics, Dave.
I'm part of the mic crew.
And it really does help the
My
world
crew for
get
life.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we've done really well today, guys, talking about some tech. If anyone out there would like to tell us what their favorite tech is, be it your mobile phone or your vibrator, you let us know. Just let us know what that is. I do think that we're in a much happier place in the world right now because of technology and the situation that we're in. I think that we would all be in a very sad place if it wasn't for the fact that we can all do this right now, you know? Imagine.
Well, isn't that great? You know, we were all put into lockdown and the world was cut off from each other and humans came together, and you saw the rise of programs and apps like Zoom to help us keep in touch with each other when we're forced to stay away from each other. That's just fucking great, really.
Do you remember House Party? That was a thing for like 2 days.
Yeah, House Party.
It was so
that was during Tiger King.
Though.
It was so bad.
It didn't have any real features.
It was just like, was it Snapchat? The people who made Snapchat who made it?
I don't know. It had a good name. That was it.
Yeah.
It wasn't smashing.
It was like Skype in 2008, but with the name House Party. Oh yeah, cool.
Was it? So shall we wrap things up? Because I know that you've got a lot of things to do, Dave. Getting your will ready.
It's going to be a while now before we do a little record session again.
It is. I've also realised I've had a 6-pack already.
I
had
am
a
6-pack. Yeah.
I went through my one desk. I'm not joking. I had one left.
Fuck.
That was it.
No wonder I was fucking murmuring about dates for my old teachers.
Right. Let's get this wrapped up. It is a goodbye from me, everyone.
And it is a goodbye from me, everyone.
And before I say goodbye, don't forget we do have an Instagram, we've got a Facebook, Twitter, we've got an email address. They're all the number 3 Schooners. And then for our email, it's @gmail.com. And you can communicate all of that shit with us. But otherwise, I hope you had an awesome time. My name's Isaac. We've been the 3 Schooners. And it's a goodbye from me.